Today is the first day of summer. That's our topic for today's Backstage Pass. Good morning, I'm James Lopez, president at HomeFi Corporation. Hope everybody had a wonderful holiday weekend celebrating Fathers and Juneteenth. Yesterday, markets were closed in observance of the Juneteenth federal holiday. And so we didn't have an update yesterday, but today we're jumping right into some news. All right, so first of all, today's the first day of summer, and that always means that it's getting hot outside, right? Hot outside, we've already seen some heat during the spring. Summer's going to be a warm summer this year, especially here in Florida. Another thing that's hot right now is the housing market. Housing is still very, very hot. And because of summertime, we're seeing some more inventory come on the market, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But first, I want to talk about existing home sales. So National Association of Realtors released their existing home sales data for the month of May. I'll throw a slide up on the screen. And this data, as we talk through this data shows that sales were down 3.4% in May. Now, this report measured activity in March and April. So this, people went under contract in March or April and closed in May. So this does include much of the rise in mortgage rates, but not all of it. On a year-over-year basis, sales are down 8.6%, which is still quite strong considering the headwinds in the market, higher home values, prices, rising interest rates, and lower inventory. Now, some good news. Remember, it's summertime. Inventory did increase about 12.6% from April. We're still down 4.1% year over year. And now, this is normal inventory build that we've talked about over the last few months. It occurs every time during this year. It's seasonal, and it's based on the fact that people want to have their kids, start the new school year at their new home. So we see a seasonal home buying market and home selling market from spring through to the beginnings of fall. This is a normal increase. The biggest difference right now is that the peaks and the troughs of inventory seasonally this year have been much, much lower historically. That's why we saw historical lows in the amount of inventory available on the market. Now, right now, we have a 2.6 month supply of inventory that's available on the market. That's up from 2.2 month supply in April. But 6 month supply, that's really what we look at to consider a balanced supply and demand. So we're still kind of imbalanced as far as supply goes towards demand. Homes were only on the market for 16 days in the month of May. That's down from April, which showed that homes were on the market for 17 days. And like I said, the real estate market is still very hot right now, and this should continue to be supportive of home prices. 88% of homes were on the market for less than a month of the homes that were sold in May. And median home prices are at around $407,000. That's up 15% year over year. That's a pretty significant increase. But this still does continue to get skewed by the types of sales. All the sales under $500,000 are down very, very sharply, while sales over $500,000 are up quite a bit. But look, the big question is, some people are saying, all right, home prices are up, interest rates are up. I'm not going to buy right now. I'm going to rent. Well, rent's a problem too. CoreLogic released their single-family home rental home report, and it showed that rents are up for single-family homes 14% year over year. Now, this is being fueled by demand or a supply problem as well. There's not a lot of places available to rent, and so supply is an issue in the rental market as well. And look, it really boils down to if you rent, you don't get the benefit of amortization, appreciation, those types of things. You always have the chance that your rents could go up year over year. So, renting isn't necessarily the best option either. Waiting to buy is not necessarily the best option. Another thing that's factoring into rising rates for rental right now is home prices and home values. Those going up as well. It's kind of putting some upward pressure on rents also. Now, last thing I want to talk to you about today is the Fed fund rate. A lot of people mistakenly think that the Fed fund rate going up, being raised by the Federal Reserve Bank, is what's causing mortgage rates to go up, but that's simply not true. I've seen a lot of videos about people talking about it, but that's not actually the case. Now, the reason why the Fed raises the fund rate is specifically to fight inflation, which is at a 41-year high. And historically, as inflation rises, so do mortgage interest rates. And there's reasons for that, underlying reasons in the bond market. But historically, the inflation goes up means that interest rates, mortgage rates specifically, go up. And we're seeing that happen right now as well. Like we said, 41-year high on inflation. We've got mortgage rates that are, hitting multi-year highs right now as well. Now, the Fed's intention by, again, raising the interest rate is to curb inflation. And if they're successful with that, then we will likely see mortgage rates decline. There's historical data to back that up. But look, it's not an instant gratification thing. It's a slow burn. It takes a little bit of time. There's nothing rapid about it. So we will see in the coming weeks, in the coming months, if the Fed is able to successfully start to slow and decrease the hot inflation numbers that we're seeing. And again, if they are successful, we will most likely see a decline in mortgage rates as well. Now, that's all the news that we have for today, right now, this week. There's not a lot of market moving news this week. We do expect to see new home sales data coming out. That's on newly constructed homes. That'll be out on Friday. And there's some manufacturing data that's going to come out in the middle of this week. But as for today, mortgage bonds are down right now about 19 basis points. The 10-year yield is up about 3 basis points. It means mortgage rates today specifically are going to open up a little worse than where they closed on Friday. Again, we didn't have any rate sheets come out yesterday because markets were closed. But we are trading in a sideways range right now. And with the lack of any major news, today should be a quiet day, and most likely the whole week will be kind of a quiet week as things progress and as things go. We'll see how it happens. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment if you have any questions, or leave a comment if you have any comments. We appreciate it. We'll throw some of this data over on Facebook as well. So be sure to go over there and take a look at some of the screens and graphs that we put up on Facebook. Thank you so much. Remember, stay positive. Have a great day. We will see you tomorrow.